When they couldn't beat him, they tried to bankrupt him. When that didn't work, they tried to impeach him. When that didn't work, they tried to put him in federal prison, and when that didn't work, they even tried to kill him. But as sure as the American flag still waves, Donald Trump still stands, ready to fight, ready to win, and ready to make America great again.
Senator, I'm wondering what you think they're going to try next and what you think will happen to the Democratic Party if Kamala does win in 7 days. What happens?
Oh, I don't want to think about that, man. That's nightmare fuel.
I know.
In some ways, the entire campaign is here are all the terrible things that are going to happen if we give Kamala Harris a promotion. I think it's more legal immigration. It's lower wages for America's workers. It's more affordable groceries. And this is really important. Kamala has really telegraphed that she's the most anti-American energy president and vice president in our history. So if we give her a promotion and we reward this kind of politics, I think you're going to see Kamala Harris go after the American energy worker and our American energy resources in an extraordinarily dangerous way. If you want to buy more and more oil and gas from nations like Iran at higher prices, then Kamala Harris is your candidate. If you want to pay lower prices to buy oil and gas from American workers in American territory, then Donald J. Trump is your candidate. And so I think there's just such a stark difference. Look, I really worry about the president's safety, especially in the wake, meaning President Trump's safety, especially in the wake of the extraordinary rhetoric that we're seeing coming from the Democrats. I mean, I think, Kamala Harris, when you stand before the American people after Donald Trump has had 2 attempted assassinations in just a few months, and you tell everybody that he's a fascist, that if he becomes president, it's the end of America, what message do you think that that's sending? And so I don't even mean for the interest of the American people or for the interest of my friend Donald J. Trump. I mean for this guy as a father and a grandfather, cut out the crazy rhetoric and make this campaign about the issues.
Yeah. Senator, prices. So everybody knows that prices are just too high.
Sure.
Everybody is impacted by this. You grew up, of course, in rural America, Ohio, Kentucky. Michigan has been crushed by foreign imports. Think about the ag industry here. You mentioned EVs, gutting jobs here in places like Michigan. How much of that do you blame directly on Joe and Kamala? Because now they claim that everything that's going on with prices in the economy, inflation, is because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The COVID-19 pandemic.
Right. Well, they blame everything on COVID-19, which was 4 years ago, or on Donald J. Trump, who hasn't been president in 4 years. And I wish that Donald J. Trump was president because then we wouldn't have the problems that have been caused by Kamala Harris's leadership. So high prices, I think, really come from 2 separate factors, both of which have been radically worsened under the policies of Kamala Harris. So number one, she casted the tie-breaking vote on trillions and trillions of dollars of new spending. Now, what happens when you throw trillions of dollars into the American economy? You have to print that money, you have to borrow from future generations, and that causes the price of inflation to go up. Now, inflation is a hidden tax, and for Michigan families, they've seen about a $29,000 total increase in cost of living thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. That means simply because Kamala Harris has been president, the average Michigander is about $29,000 poorer than they would have been if Donald J. Trump's successful policies had continued. That's number one. All the spending has really increased the price of inflation. The second big driver, and we go back to energy, is, look, energy goes into everything. If you think about this, say you take a truck driver and he's got to pay 45% more for diesel. Well, the groceries that truck driver is delivering to the grocery store, that gets way more expensive. Or say, the guy who's delivering lumber to the job site is paying 40% more for gasoline. That means all of us are going to see an increase in the cost of housing that's built at that job site. So if you go after American energy as aggressively as Kamala Harris has, you're going to see price increases. And if you, as President Trump always says, drill, baby, drill, you're going to see energy prices come down, but you're also going to see the cost of goods on almost every category of item come down too. And that's the Donald J. Trump plan to lower inflation. It's very simple, but sometimes this stuff is actually pretty straightforward.